Defense team in the Delphi murders case once again trying to get key evidence thrown out of that case.
This time they say there's more proof a search warrant shouldn't have been granted. IT mate's Cody Fisher joining us to break down the flurry of court filings tonight. Cody.
The defense is trying to prove that the search of Richard Allen's house was unlawful. That warrant is how law enforcement found the gun linking Allen to the crime scene where Abby Williams and Libby German were found. Richard Allen was arrested following the search warrant when forensic analysis showed an unspent bullet found at the crime scene came from his gun. Anya Kane and Kevin Greenlee from the Murder Sheet podcast explain why it's important for the defense to try and get that thrown out of the case.
You want to get the warrant thrown out, you lose the gun, and you possibly even lose the confessions because he's in prison because of the gun. So you lose a lot of the case against Richard Allen. In addition to that, they want to discredit law enforcement.
In a separate filing, the defense argued that the trial will not be long enough for both sides to present their cases. They claim the prosecution's list of potential witnesses and evidence could eat up all of the time currently allotted for the 3-week trial.
Ultimately, if you don't give both sides the time they need to present their cases, you run the risk of making the jurors' sacrifice meaningless, because then there's a chance there's going to be an appeal, and then it all has to happen all over again.
Judge Gohl responded to the defense, saying there was no objections to the length of the trial when the defense filed their motion for a speedy trial in April, and that she sat on the bench for death penalty and life without parole cases that were completed in the amount of time that is allotted for this trial.
It seems like a time frame was chosen seemingly arbitrarily, because she's had other cases that have lasted about this long, and there hasn't really been any thought into what is best for this specific case.
Judge Gohl is also going to be deciding what sort of evidence can be presented by the defense to the jury. The prosecution is asking her to not allow the defense team to mention any of the people they believe may have committed the murders, or any speculation that it was Odinists who did it, which is one of the defense team's main arguments. In a filing today, the defense team said the prosecution did not provide documentation to support their request to limit what the defense team can and cannot present to the jury.
If you restrict the defense too much, then you could be looking at appeals because, they could argue that we weren't able to vigorously defend our client.
One thing we have not seen in this flurry of filings is a ruling by Judge Gohl on whether or not she will hold Allen's attorneys in contempt of court for the leak of crime scene photos that came from their office in October. Now, the deadline for that filing of when she could make that ruling is tomorrow. Reporting, Cody Fisher, IT Mate, WishTV.com, and follow us on Facebook for updates.